Trey Lance had the greatest worst afternoon in NFL preseason box score history this weekend. I believe he also had 5 interceptions and fumbled twice. Whoa.
This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
By the way, maybe the single most interesting thing that happened in the NFL over the weekend was the weekend that we saw former 49er hopeful quarterback Trey Lance. Trey Lance had the greatest worst afternoon in NFL preseason box score history this weekend. 33 of 49 for 323 yards, 11 carries, 90 more yards on the ground, and 2 touchdowns. I believe he also had 5 interceptions and fumbled twice. I mean, it's one of the hardest to explain. You got to look at it twice, box score lines you've ever seen in your entire life. Like, there's no doubt that Trey Lance he's got talent, but he's still raw as hamburger meat. And, he's only 24 years old. What he needs is the one thing that he's now guaranteed to not get, and that's reps. Trey Lance should be the poster child for the NFL's developmental league. Made a choice to come out of college, probably before he should have made it. The temptation to stay in college was overwhelmed by the 49ers draft position. Then Trey Lance himself got overwhelmed by the NFL, its speed and how to adapt to it. He is mastering elements of it, but clearly with 5 interceptions is still being overwhelmed by the NFL. And now he is going to be overwhelmed by the fact that Dak Prescott is going to get his deal done. He is going to be in Dallas, and he is going to be the Cowboys quarterback of the now and the future because Jerry Jones doesn't have the balls to walk away. And Trey Lance did nothing to say, hey, I'm the next man up for the job. Not really. What are we going to see out of Trey Lance now, who hasn't even elevated himself to the backup quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys? That's still Cooper Rush. So that guy's career is just dying in limbo. And look, the Dallas Cowboys couldn't have given him any more run. He was on the field for all 93 plays this past weekend. He's gotten 116 total snaps in the first 2 preseason games. Lance led the league in several categories this preseason. He finished with 660 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, all thrown in one game. He was sacked 6 times as a passer. He also went for 168 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns on 24 carries. And you couldn't trust that guy to go out and play a football game for you? Not at all. Not one that really mattered. Did the 49ers set their franchise back by drafting Trey Lance? The answer is a very loud maybe, because it's also a maybe not, since they found Brock Purdy, which has saved everybody's bacon and reputation in ways that can't even be described. Trey Lance was a gamble that at the time Kyle thought was worth taking. I think Kyle totally conned himself and fell for the okie doke about what his offense truly needs and the allure of having somebody who might be a Patrick Mahomes guy. I think Patrick Mahomes panic went into the Kyle draft pick of Trey Lance. Trey Lance did not fit, does not fit, is not fit to go out and actually play an NFL game that matters, but he might be one day. Again, he's only 24. 33 of 49 for 323 yards, 11 carries, 90 yards. Those are PlayStation numbers. That's a really big afternoon. 5 interceptions. That is one of the biggest screaming, get that guy off the field, he ain't ready yet, numbers too. So 2 steps forward, 2 steps back with Trey Lance, which leaves him still stuck on go, which is the problem. He can't get off a go. Poor guy. Lance made some really good plays also, just saying, those turnovers. Again, Trey Lance, and this is so right here, DJ Melvis says, Trey Lance played like me playing on all Madden mode for the very first time. It's like me playing on Heisman mode. Again, I'll put 300 yards of air travel up, but I'll throw 4 or 5 interceptions against that Heisman mode with an Indiana quarterback. So, yeah, I hear you. Jimmy G to Trey Lance. 5 interceptions, huh? Hold my beer and porn star. Thank you very much. My balls, Zach Ertz says, Trey Lance is the biggest scam in history. He's not a scam. He's an alluring, raw talent that hopefully you got in the 5th round. Not the kind of guy you flipped 3 first-rounders to trade up and get. Trey Lance is not the scam, but Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch were the rubes that looked at him and thought, yeah, there's our entire future right there. Cap is saying, look, Trey's 5 picks were impressive and 2 fumbles. It's really something else, isn't it?
What?
Trey was a worse pick than Jaminkus. Well, look, Jaminkus started NFL games. Jaminkus had himself an NFL career. I don't know if we're going to see that for Trey. You can't say that, not yet. Can't say that, not yet. And look, it's better to be driven out of the league because you just weren't quite good enough than to have the talent to be in the league, but you can't stop drinking bottles at Dimetap enough to be taken seriously.
Thanks for watching. Tune into the Damon Bruce Show live on YouTube every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific.